the previous episodes, I do want to start the episode off before we get into the topic, just introducing some of the products that I have on. So we're going to start off with that first, and then we're going to jump into the topic. Okay, so for this first product, I have on the Aveeno Daily Moisturizing Body Mist. This looks very similar to the one that I had in the previous video. However, if I'm not mistaken, that was like the original version. It did have a fresh scent, but it wasn't the same scent as this one. And this is the Coconut Butter Vanilla scent. This one smells just as fresh. It kind of smells similar. It doesn't have like a distinct smell exactly like the other one does. It keeps my body moisturized and looking oily, looking fresh. So this is a really great product. When it comes to body butters, Naturium is definitely one of my faves. This is the Glow Getter Multi-Oil Body Butter. You only need a little bit goes a very long way. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. And y'all, when I tell you, baby, keeps me well moisturized. But this is what it looks like. I've been having this now for maybe a week and a half, but like I said, you really don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. And I like to use it for the most part on my legs and on my thighs. But sometimes, like if it's not too high, I'll put it on my shoulders, my arms, my chest area as well. Now, I also have this Valentino. This is the trial size. I don't remember what the name of the fragrance is, but it's in the green bottle. This smells really, really good. I've been wearing this now for a couple of days. I haven't been wearing it as much as I would like to because it is the trial size, and I don't want to go in on it too heavy, but it smells really good. So this will be like one of my next purchases, just getting the full bottle. These are the 3 products that I'm wearing as of right now or this morning. Of course, I have on my deodorant, but I didn't want to keep letting y'all know about that product. I don't really switch out deodorants, honestly, until one of them runs out, and then I'll go and get another one. But these are the 3 products that I'm wearing for today. I wanted to go ahead and jump right into the topic for today. And y'all know my channel, I want it to be about lifestyle, beauty, but I also really want to hone in on what it means to become, or what does becoming mean, right? And I think when women refer to becoming, I've seen this post on TikTok. I think it was DJ Academics. I'm a fan of his. But he was talking about how women can pretty much go through like all these different phases and they can always reinvent themselves. And I feel like that's a superpower that we have. Like we can always switch up, you know, for the most part. Like reinvent who you want to become. And I think I've done that on my own several times. But honestly, I think the person that I'm wanting to become now is who I'm always going to be. Like I don't see myself becoming anyone else, honestly, like after I become who I am, right? But when I refer to becoming, I am simply referring to you reinventing the person that you are. You telling yourself, I am this new person. I plan on doing these things. This is how I want my signature fragrance to smell. This is how I want people to interact with me. This is how I want people to describe me. All the different things. And it's not necessarily about what people think about you or describe the type of person that you are. It's more the person that you are. And I think that when you're walking into something, it can't be denied. Like if you are who you are, nobody can say that you're not. Prior to becoming, I really want that to be as simplified as self-improvement. You're improving yourself to become the best version that you can be. And one of the things that I've come across in these recent years or recent times is romanticism. Everybody is romanticizing all of these different things. I've seen content on romanticizing candles, romanticizing cars, romanticizing an apartment, and it's just all the things, and I love it. And I've always seen it, but I've never knew what it meant. But by context, based upon the pictures and the music that was associated with that word, I kind of figured that it always meant luxurious, soft life, very sort of sexy, you know, like feminine, but like a dark, deep feminine is what I think of when I hear the word romanticize. And over the last couple of weeks, I'm just like, what does this word actually mean? Because for whatever reason, it's in my algorithm heavy now. So I see it a lot. So I was like, let me look up what romanticism means, or romanticize. And the textbook definition, i.e. Google, says romanticize is to make something more exciting or more beautiful than what it actually is. And when I read that definition, the only thing that came to mind was, I see why men consider women to be delusional. I see. Because we can turn the smallest thing into something so huge. You know why I thought of that is because, you know, when it comes to certain words, or pretty much all words, they can be used in different contexts. So, for example, one word can have several different meanings. And this word, aside from what I just read to you, also means to think about something in an unrealistic way. We've all been there, to the Cinderella story or all of the love stories that we kind of grew up on. Like, we romanticize that love life. And even now, I personally don't know anybody who's had a Cinderella story or close to a Cinderella story. You know, but when we think about the word romanticize, it's kind of exemplified in a way that we have a very high expectation on how we believe something is supposed to go. And a lot of times they don't go like that. However, when it comes to romanticizing your life, okay, when it comes to romanticizing a different piece of you, I think that requires a certain level of unrealistic thinking. We want a certain type of life. And I'm not saying we should all go through life being delusional and thinking about things and doing all this crazy stuff. But I do honestly believe in that first definition that I read to you. And I'll read it again, which says, make something more exciting or beautiful than it is. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. I've come to realize when you romanticize something, and it can be as small as going for a walk, listening to music, lighting the candle. It can be as small as something like that. When you romanticize it, you bask in it, you savor in it, you soothe in that emotion and in that feeling. And that's where I feel like I am with a lot of different things. Romanticizing has allowed me to set a new standard for myself. To know that if I take my time with this process, it's gonna follow and mimic throughout all of the decisions I do. I've always been a firm believer, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And since I've started romanticizing my life and started to take my time and just have a new perspective on what it means to romanticize, to actually like just kind of soak in that feeling. And because I've been doing it for so long, it's almost like secondhand nature to me. I do it without question. And it's made such a huge difference in my life. I talk about some of the ways that it has directly influenced my life and the things that I do. And I think one of the things that a lot of us women can relate to or agree on is self-care. That's been a thing forever. But if you're from where I'm from, called it, get in the shower and make sure you clean and make sure you moisturize. And even though essentially that's what it is, that's a type of self-care, that's not all that self-care is. But in this example that I'm about to give you, it can be related to that. So something that I started to do at the beginning of this year was to actually enjoy my shower routine. This was something for the longest that I felt like getting in the shower was such a chore. It was something that I didn't really enjoy just to get in the bed. I'm a firm believer in not getting in the bed unless I'm clean. Like I believe that, you know what I mean? Even if I've been in the house all day, I haven't went outside. which rarely ever happens. But in the event that I were to be in the house all day, I'm still going to take a shower. That's just how I was raised. I'm a woman. I have to shower at least once a day. I used to always look at it like it was a bad thing. Like, oh my gosh, I got to get in the shower. You know, that's going to be 5 minutes and I got to brush my teeth and I got to, like, I used to think of it like it was a bad thing. I did. And now I look at it completely different. When I get in the shower, I'm setting aside the time. I'm allocating time to this self-care. Allocating that time to where I'm in the shower and I don't have to worry about or think about anything else aside from me making sure I'm getting all my crevices and all them creases in my bodies and cleaning everything the way it's supposed to be clean while I'm listening to Party Next Door and SZA. It is a phenomenal time. And that's how I look at showering now. I'm looking at it as a step-by-step process. And I used to look at showering like, I used to see the girls on TikTok and the girlies on YouTube and Instagram, and they would go through all of these different 14-step process of shower. And I'm just like, I would never. Absolutely. Because like I said before, I used to look at it like it was a chore. But up until, I feel like maybe you have to get to a certain point in life, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna implement this step-by-step routine. But I finally got to that point, and now I emphasize that shower time. I emphasize self-care. I have my speaker. Sometimes I have me a candle on. I'm listening to my music. I'm letting the water hit my skin. And then I'm going in step-by-step, Dove Beauty Bar, Dr. Bronner's. If it's exfoliation day, I'm exfoliating. If it's shave day, I'm shaving. Body wash, just all the things, y'all. And I promise you, it's made such a difference, not only in the way that I care for my skin and the way that my skin looks, but also how I feel about myself. I've always believed that if you take your time with something, you'll notice a change. It won't be an instant change. Of course, change is something that happens gradually and over time. But when it comes to skincare and hygiene, that's just like weight loss. You can't fake it. It's either you got it or you don't, honestly. And I feel like over these last couple of months, since like I said at the beginning of February, I've noticed a significant change in my skin. And although I do have differences like blemishes and hyperpigmentation, it's a process. You know, change happens gradually, but I'm believing that if I continue to romanticize my self-care in those areas, eventually I'm going to see a difference. Another way that I romanticize is making sure in the morning time I have my clothes picked out. I don't have to rush. It's like I'm romanticizing every single thing that allows me to be me. It's like I'm putting together this uniform that goes into self-care, that goes into makeup, that goes into hair, outfit. I'm preparing myself to face the world by showing up as the best version of myself. To me, that's how I romanticize who I am. And it shows. I feel like, honestly, I'm just gonna say this. This camera does not do me enough justice. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna put that out there because this not really giving what I wanted to give, but we gonna continue. Like I said before, how you do one thing is how you do everything, and I'm a firm believer in that. But yeah, when it comes to romanticizing, it's like everything is just kind of slowed down. You're enjoying the process. You understand what it takes to be able to get to this certain destination. If that means you starting in the shower, you ending with your teeth being brushed. When you get in that bed, when you lay down and shut them eyes, you know every crevice and crease in your body is clean. And it just feels so good. It feels so good, y'all. So, yeah, I just really like to savor in that moment and just kind of like experience what it means to be there, you know, to feel that. But yeah, you know, romanticizing is so important. And it's made such a difference in my life and my life experiences. And I feel like I said before, even when I'm getting ready in the morning, I romanticize that. I'm listening to my sermons. If I'm not listening to my sermons, I'm checking my bank account. I'm like, Lord, thank you. You know what I'm just romanticizing every single moment. And I feel like when you start your morning with that, it's such a pinnacle point in my life, in my day-to-day life, to start my day off saying, I get to take my time, because I know what it feels like to be rushed. We all know what it feels like when we have to rush ourselves to do something, and it does not feel good. It always feels like you're missing out on something. You forgot something. You're running behind. It's a missing piece somewhere in that puzzle with you having to rush. Versus you taking your time, you just get a different outcome. You look at life differently. And I feel like ever since I started to romanticize my life and the person that I'm becoming, it's affected me in all areas. Not just self-care, but that's a major point that has affected my life. Self-care. How I take care of myself. How I show up for myself is such a pivotal point. It's so pivotal. Even the way that I show up in my workspace, how I communicate with other people, the way that I go towards my homework, how I'm wanting to be ahead, how I don't want to get behind, how I'm holding myself to a higher regard when it comes to grades. I'm not a B girly anymore. I need A's. I need straight A's, as a matter of fact. So just romanticizing and taking my time with all of those things has made such a difference. And if I could say anything else, I would just say try it. Okay, try it in one area. It doesn't necessarily have to be in care. It can be you romanticizing in the way that you work out, romanticizing in your relationship, romanticizing when you take yourself out on a nice dinner date. How do you interact with yourself? How do you interact with other people around you? All of those things go into you as one thing. You are the ecosystem. Everything around you is adding to you so that you can create this world for yourself. And that's what I would encourage you to do. So that's all I really wanted to say. I think that it's helped me in so many ways. And I want to be able to influence and inspire you all to do the same thing. You know, start to take your time with things and just really enjoy the process. Oh, one more thing. I did get a Fashion Nova package, y'all. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, recently, Fashion Nova has been slacking real bad when it comes to delivering packages on time. I ordered this about 2 weeks ago. It just got to me today. That's all I'm gonna say. But I do want to eventually get into like the hauls, the Fashion Nova hauls. I like to order myself something at least like once a month. And for the most part, it's gonna be either me going to H&M or me buying something from Fashion Nova. But next month, I do want to buy myself something really, really nice. So I plan on coming out here and showing y'all that as well. But anyways, so I want to do a Fashion Nova haul just so y'all can see some of the items that I got from Fashion Nova. So yeah, that's all. But thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. And I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.